just ain't happening. Yeah, you a chunk of my life, this just ain't happening. Kill me off the show.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back once again to Vicious Rants. And of course, I'm your host, YouTube, sign off and imitator. Never duplicated Superstar Tim Vicious and gonna go over Raw this week. Was in Cleveland, Ohio, not that far off from yours truly in the Vicious Studios. However, opted not to go to that Raw because, well, this past weekend was Father's Day. Had a very lovely day with my son and my family and all that good stuff. But we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about wrestling. So before we do, we're gonna switch gears and talk about last week via the SmackDown Rewind and the big highlights from last week's SmackDown. The show started out with the Bloodline pulling into the arena, Kayla Braxton trying to get an interview, everyone staying silent, and Paul Heyman just kind of scuffing her off as only Paul can, especially when it comes to Kayla. He's got some serious issues with her. But the show started off with the tag team gauntlet match to determine new #1 contenders for the tag team championships. It was the Street Profits, the Brawling Brutes, OC Gallows and Anderson, Hit Row, LWO, Cruz and Del Toro, and the two most tastiest snacks on SmackDown, Pretty Deadly. Yes, boys. And I gotta tell you, this was damn good. I really, really fucking loved this one. I thought this was really damn good. It was probably the one part while watching it that actually, and there was one part that legit made me do a spit take. I was having a drink, and it was when just as Hit Row got in, Hit Row got out, and Michael Cole on the commentary. So long, flop dog. Dude, like the dude, man, he does not. That is going to be the biggest rivalry of 2023. Michael Cole versus Top Dollar. That's going to be the biggest rivalry on commentary all year long. Okay? Cole's just not going to let that go. That botch go. So, Pretty Deadly got the win. Really cool to see. I'm excited for that because, aside from the fact that, Pretty Deadly's a really good team, it gives a chance to let the new guys on the block, so to say, get a chance to have a chance to be highlighted. So they won the match. Afterwards, they were in the ring, cutting a promo, gloating on how they won, on how they're going to be the new tag champs, and then out come Owens and Zayn. And then it's like, your guys' your match ended about a good 5 minutes ago. I think you overstayed your welcome by a good 5 minutes, and then they came down, and it was a little bit of a snap. Of a scuffle, as some people would like to call it. So yeah, next up we had Io Sky going against Zelina Vega. And, needed the hard pills for this one. Yeah. This was a good match also. Really, I'm really liking on how they're highlighting Zelina is the big underdog. Now, personally, that's telling me chances are she's not going to win the Money in the Bank match, but it's getting her a chance to shine on TV. So I'm happy for that because the more you get a chance to shine on the TV, the better your odds are on actually getting to do something better down the road. So as far as the match went, I thought it was a good match. Zelina got the win, and that came to be because Bayley was ringside trying to run interference for Io, which led to Io and Bayley squawking back and forth a little, and then Zelina wound up being able to get the win. Next thing you know, they show backstage them two talking it over, them being Io and Bayley, talking it over about what was going on, and then Shotzi came over talking about, I should have won that Money in the Bank qualifying match, but, you guys wanted to go and play dirty pool and all that jazz. And then she called Bayley out. How about you put your money where your mouth is? Next week, you give me a one-on-one with your Money in the Bank qualifier on the line. And before Bayley can even answer Io, she accepts. leading by example. And just like, okay. Yeah. Then we had the Grayson Waller effect come on. And Charlotte, she came down. And very much so being Charlotte. Listen, people want to say, Bianca didn't get her rematch. She didn't get her rematch. Guess what? I lost to Rhea and I didn't get my rematch. And so yeah. And then out came Bianca and then a little bit of squawking back and forth between them. And honestly, personal prediction. We're either going to get we're either going to get a triple threat with Bianca, Charlotte, and Asuka down the road, or we're going to get Bianca going against Charlotte or Asuka, whoever wins on that one. That's my personal predictions. That's the way that's the way the tea leaves are looking for me, so to say. And on that note, also, as great as a talker Grayson Waller is, I'm just waiting for the inevitable day he finally gets a match on SmackDown. Next up, we had a mixed tag match. AJ Styles and Mia Yim going against Karrion Kross and Scarlett. Whew! And I gotta say, this was a good match. I liked it. It was a good chance to let some fans who may not actually be aware of this, but Scarlett can do more than just be a pretty face and be ringside. You know, she can wrestle, folks. Shocker, right? It was a good match. It was a decent match. Kross got the win by choking out AJ. And, so yeah. And then LA Knight, yeah, dummy, yeah, let me talk to you. Had a match against Santos Escobar. Santos got the win, much to no surprise on that one. And then the big closing moment for SmackDown was Jey Uso's decision on where he stands with the bloodline. Roman came out with the family. Roman came out with Solo and Wiseman, asked Jey to come out, and then said, Jey, listen, first things first, we need to address this. You're saying if you're in, the Wiseman's out. Here's what you need to understand. He's not your wise man. He's not the family's wise man. He's my wise man. When you are the tribal chief, you can have whatever wise man you want. My job was to get us to the promised land. Yours is to keep us there. Yours is to make sure we stay at the top. I want you to think, who did we call? Who was the one that came up was saying, you were main event Jey Uso? When your brother got sidelined, you stepped up. And Roman just kept going on with that, and then out came Jimmy. It's like, whoa. No. I want you to think about this, Zeus, because how he's talking, how he's been acting, ain't right. And then Jey, whoa, you speaking for you, or you speaking for me? Because I want to know on this. And then Roman basically just hit the nail on the head saying, I want you to think about this. Who said you were main event Jey Uso? We never looked away on that. In fact, that was the wise man's idea. And then they all just kind of looked over at Jimmy. And then Jey, was that you? You had an issue with me? You had an issue with me being main event man? Yeah. And then you just see Jey all sorts of flustered. Man, I can't believe you. I can't believe you. You did this to me. It's always, I had to follow your example. I had to listen to you because you were the older one. You came out first. You're the older brother. Well, you know what? You're out. And then you just see Roman laughing and gloating. And then I'm out too. Whack! And then Jey just popped a super kick right under Roman's face, and you could just hear everyone like, what? And it was like, whoa. What? Like the air got sucked out of the room. And then popped again. And then they took out Solo, and then the Usos walked off. They then announced later on that at Money in the Bank, it's going to be a Bloodline Civil War. The Usos going against Roman and Solo. Man, this is going to be ugly. And because, how's that old saying go? Nobody fights like family? Yeah. This is going to be ugly. So with that said, now let's get into this week's show. Raw, Cleveland. It starts out with Seth Elizabeth Rollins, because his middle name is not frickin', comes out to issue an open challenge for his World Heavyweight Championship. He comes out, and just as he's in the ring, drinking in the crowd, singing his song, whoa, 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 boom, out comes Finn Balor, gives him a sneak attack, beats the ungodly hell out of the man, beats him with, like, he beat him up like he owed him money, like Seth owed him money, and then hit him with not one, not two, but three coup de grace off the steps. And yeah, and that was the big running story, saying, is Seth going to be medically okay to compete coming up at Money in the Bank? Hell, is he going to be okay enough to compete against Braun Breaker on NXT on Tuesday? They eventually showed a little video later on saying, Seth saying, oh, they took me to the hospital, doctors did x-rays on my ribs, I'm good, I'm just sore, I'll be there, Money in the Bank. And Finn, it's nice to finally see the guy that beat me for that championship all them years ago. So yeah, so now that we're done that, let's get into the first match of the night. The Miz comes out all sorts of mad and annoyed because Seth was going to issue an open challenge. He was going to gladly accept. He was going to win the championship in his hometown of Cleveland and show Cleveland just what a champion looks like. Unfortunately, that's not the case. So instead, while he's doing all that, we hear the return of Tommaso Ciampa. Yeah, Tommaso Ciampa came back. I freaking popped like, whoa, way cool. Way cool. I've been a fan of Tommaso Ciampa's for years, since before he was in NXT, back when he was in Ring of Honor as the Sicilian Psychopath. You know, it's nice to see somebody that I've been a fan of for a very long time, seeing them go from where they started to seeing where they're at now, and just like, man, he really did elevate himself over those years and changed himself for the better. Like his character and everything. Just like, wow. So, at the start, he comes out and Miz is just looking like, Ciampa's back. Alright, cool. Hey, he was my guy. He was my guy. He was with me. That's all good. It's great to see you, buddy. Yeah. And then Ciampa, wham, decks him. And then Ciampa, he just goes straight up postal on Miz. And he just goes straight up postal and ballistic on him, like you'd have thought he was shades of ye old Tommaso Ciampa from during his heel run in NXT. Like, dang, that's vicious. Ooh, man, ooh. You know, but beat the crap out of Miz. He dominated roughly 99.9% of the match. Miz built up a small little bit of a comeback near the end, but to no avail. Ciampa got the win by doing a jumping high knee and then hitting the fairy tale ending. 1, 2, 3. That was it. The only way it could have been better was if Johnny Gargano and his family could have been out there to celebrate with him or show some kind of backstage thing. Unfortunately, they didn't. I'm just saying. So yeah, next up we had Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green going against Kayden Carter and Katana Chance. And before the match, they showed a little TikTok video of Chelsea having major Karen meltdowns. And I'm not even going to lie, a lot of people on my timeline on the Twitter were all sorts of annoyed, like, oh, how could they do this? Oh, what the hell, man? Who introduced Vince to TikTok? Blah, 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 blah. Dude, shut up. That was freaking funny. That was funny, man. Seriously. I thought that was entertaining. I thought that was really entertaining. So it was a decent match. As far as it went, though, honestly, the babyfaces led the entire match. It was really short. They got the win by doing that after party 450 splash on the Sonya. So, yeah. Next up, we got Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander going against Indus Sher. And, well, they had the right idea, but Cedric and Shelton attacking Indus Sher right at the start before the bell rang. They held their ground for a good bit, but yeah, then to no avail. Then Indus Sher started dominating and beat the ungodly crap out of them, and then Indus Sher got the win. Doing off the second rope elbow onto Shelton Benjamin. Yeah. Then we got Riddle going against Ludwig Keiser with Gunther ringside. This I gotta say, I was really surprised. This had some nice good back and forth action with, Keiser. He was kind of leading at the beginning of the match. Or not so much leading, I don't want to say leading, that's wrong choice of words. More like dictating the pace on it, if that makes more sense. And Riddle was more so leading the match post-commercial break. It was a decent match. I thought it was good. Riddle got the win doing the Bro Derek. Afterwards, there was a post-match beatdown on the Riddle where Keiser held Riddle down, and then Gunther, boom, worked on his... Boom, took out Riddle's knee a handful of times because, well, in storyline, he broke Giovanni Vinci's ankle, so instead of an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, it's an ankle for an ankle. Next up, we got Alpha Academy going against the Viking Raiders, continuing their feud. And, man, I gotta tell you, business did not pick up in this match until Otis and Ivar got in, which was relatively quick in the match. And then that really was the Big E dream, having two big meaty men having slapping meat kind of action. That's all that was right there. You can have your 60-minute Broadways. You can have your 5-star Tokyo Dome matches. But what we got right here is two big meaty men having a slapping meat kind of moment. Yeah. And I definitely know I butchered that quote in some kind of way, and I am sorry in advance. Sorry for that. Either way, this was really good. Otis and Ivar, man, was like, whoa. Those are two big hot. Now those are two big hosses fighting. It was really good. I thought that was cool to see. Gable wound up getting a hot tag and started doing really good. And at one point, actually, almost got Ivar off. He got Ivar off the ground, but he didn't slam him. And the big pop-in surprise came when Vahalla came over to try and mess with Maxxine. Maxxine then suplexed Vahalla, which then Gable saw, cheered her on. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Doing all that jazz, and then Eric wound up getting a roll up 1, 2, 3. So yeah. Now we're gonna get a rubber match. There's no doubt on that. So more than likely next week. And then we got, I can't even say it was really a match. It was more just like a one-sided beatdown. It was Rhea Ripley versus Natayla. Natayla came out, and then Rhea just took her to the woodshed and beat her like the proverbial redheaded stepchild. And a few things to note in regards to this. One, when Rhea was coming down, Corey Graves made mention on Rhea's Instagram story, and a lot of people had some issues on that, saying about him bringing that up, saying, like, oh, now you're glorifying all these creeps and these pervs and blah, blah, blah because of it. And I'm not going to go into detail about what Rhea put on her Instagram story. If y'all want to know that bad, you're obviously watching this, so you got access to the internet. Go on Google and look it up. Yeah. It was a tribute video, but not the likes of which that you would typically see on a YouTube. Maybe more so one where you have to be 18 or in some cases 21, depending where you live, on those kind of sites. But Rhea posted that little tribute video on her Instagram story, which honestly, my first thought was people bashing Corey Graves on it. Okay, so let me get this straight. You're saying Graves is in the wrong for that. I'm not dismissing your argument on that. But at any point in time, Rhea putting it out there, not making any kind of negative comment on it, just putting it on a reel for people to see. You know? And that at no point nobody thinks maybe that might be glorifying. Because I guarantee if anyone, because I guarantee if she would have put a comment like, people like this are disgusting, blah, 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 people would be praising her for calling out creeps and pervs like that. But if she just put it out there like that, people were making jokes all day long saying, oh, yo, Rhea put up a reel showing on how Dominic really feels about her and this, that, and the other and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah. I'm not saying one's more right or wrong than the other. I'm just saying there's room for equal questionability on where, like, what's right and what's wrong in regards to that. Also, Natalya, before she came out, she was saying she feels like she's at a crossroads. She's not quite sure where she stands in regards to the WWE, or not WWE, but the women's division, given on how everything is. And to this, I say that. Let me say this about that. If you didn't make your fucking ring character based off of every last member of your family and instead made it yourself, maybe, just maybe, you wouldn't be in that kind of crossroads. Because, I mean, honestly, you look at Natalya's promos. She honestly carries herself physically. She carries herself almost in the same kind of way like her dad, like the Anvil, because she's a big girl. She carries herself like the Anvil, who was a big guy. But the way she does all her promos. She does all the famous one-liners from Brett to Owen to Jim to everyone. Does it all. I mean, just ugh. If you want to, there's a difference between coming from a family legacy name and then just riding that family legacy nonstop. I mean, you want a good example? Look at Roman. Roman is riding that family legacy, but he's doing it in his own freaking way. He's not like doing the same kind of stuff like his dad's, like the Wild Samoans did, like Rikishi did, hell, even like The Rock did. He just, ugh. Now that I got that off my chest, yeah. Rhea beat the ungodly crap out of Natalya, and then afterwards they showed a backstage interview with Raquel Rodriguez, who has a match following that, with Raquel saying, I hope Rhea better hope I don't win the Money in the Bank, and as she's doing that, Rhea comes to the back, and then they're face to face like this. And all I could think is that if you freeze frame that, if I didn't know I was watching wrestling, I would have sworn that was an image from one of those kind of questionable websites I was mentioning earlier. So yeah, the tension is real between them two. You could feel it. So yeah, anyways, now we got Raquel Rodriguez going against Trish Stratus. Swear, one of these days, I am going to look through some of my old school papers, because yes, I still have some of my old school papers from when I was in college, because I based my thesis on one thing and one thing only. The second greatest export from Canada, the number one being maple syrup, The second greatest export is drop dead gorgeous women wrestlers, because I have not seen one that did not just make you look and do, oh sweet Jesus. Seriously, yeah, because I mentioned a few couple names on that too, and just yeah, can't help it. So as far as the match went between Raquel and Trish, though, Raquel, she was powering over Trish early on. Trish wound up showing up big time and was leading on to near the second act of the match. Match ended in a DQ though when Zoey ran some interference on Raquel, and then Becky came out, beat up Zoey, and then attacked Trish. Ref saw it, ref called for the bell, so you're a winner, and might I mention this is a Money in the Bank qualifier, and qualifies for the Money in the Bank ladder match. Trish Stratus. And then, yeah, Becky then just looks like, oh, crap. And then she goes over to Raquel, I'm sorry, look, I got caught up, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. And then you see Becky do an interview backstage, you know. Did I make a mistake? Yeah. But Trish needs to realize she's in a match with me and ladders. So this is going to be fun. Now, I don't have many allies, but between Trish and Zoey, Bayley and Io, and I haven't made many friends, and I'm pretty sure it is Zelina. I haven't really made friends with Zelina. I got my back against the wall, but that's when I do my best. So yeah, so now we got next matchup was Shinsuke Nakamura versus Bronson Reed, and oh dear God in heaven, I said last week this was going to be bowling shoe ugly in all the right ways, and I was not wrong. It was freaking good. It was it was a really good physical match. This really good physical start. Really good back and forth between the guys too. I can't stress this enough. If you're going to watch one match from Raw this week, okay, two matches from Raw this week, Raquel and Trish pretty much being the obvious reason why that one, and then Nakamura and Bronson Reed, because, whoa, it was that good. I loved it. It was a great match. A lot of good back and forth going with the physicality. Bronson Reed got the win doing the tsunami on the Nakamura. It was just the chef's kiss. Mwah. So now we come to main event of the night. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Cody Rhodes going up against the Judgment Day. And this came to be because after Finn did the attack on Seth, Judgment Day came out, cut a promo. Finn saying, Seth, you're not doing any open challenge because I'm making sure you are champ at Money in the Bank because I'm going to dethrone you, no one else. And then Dominic got the mic. Bad Math and Cody Rhodes hyping up their match at Money in the Bank, and then saying, if you can find two other people that want to work with you tonight, you could take us all on in a six-man. And then Cody wound up getting interviewed later on after that, saying, if I can find two guys, you said if I can find two guys, we can all get it on? Fine. Challenge accepted. And then he saw that Owens and Zayn said they'd work with him. So, as far as the match went, really good, nice start. Sami wound up Sami became the punching bag post-break for a good bit. Kevin Owens wound up getting a hot tag and working pretty good. Working good in there. And then Cody got the secondary hot tag. A lot of good action going on all around on there. At one point, Sami Zayn was in the ring. Rhea got up on the apron to go and run interference on Sami. And then Sami just like, really? And Rhea's just kind of taunting and teasing him like, you gonna hit me? What, you gonna hit a girl? You gonna hit a girl? And then Sami bounces off the ropes, looking like, whoa, wait, what? And then you just see Rhea duck down and Sami jump over the rope, take out Dominic, and then you see Rhea go over, cuddle him, like, no, Dom, you okay? Like that. And then match eventually comes to an end when Balor gets taken out with a haluva kick and a stunner, and then Cody winds up hitting a crossroads on the Damian Priest for the 1-2-3. That's it. All the babyfaces standing in the ring like, yeah, we won, come on, what? You want some more? Huh? And then the face is just kind of backing away up the ramp, or the heel is backing away on the ramp. So, with that said, that's it for this week's show, folks. So please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch some of the episodes when you can. Look for me on the Twitter at TimVicious. Also, thank you to my executive producer, Ali Ray Ben, who did provide the music for this week's show. Make sure y'all check it out on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, and such. All that good shit, details are down below. Also, thank you to LFC Lingerie Fighting Championship. There are a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of MMA, a whole lot of attractive women wearing a little bit of nothing. Also, folks, don't forget to follow these cool-ass cats right on the Twitter, getting killer VSB_RB Diabolica RA. Sergeant Curry Pants and dubs in your face. Folks, don't forget to check out whatevernew.net for some Vicious Rants apparel. Help support the show. Thanks to your contributions, the Vicious Studios now has an AC. This place is good and cool now. Thank you for that. Let's help keep that flow going. And like I always say, if you love me, great. You hate me,
What I'll be wearing when she goes extra first. Is it wrong? It depends on who you ask.